Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you all so much for being here. Y'all could have been any place else in the world, but you decided to hang out here. I appreciate it. Let's see. Karen, you were here first. Thank you so much. Annie Bullard, Lydia Washington, Rodney Jackson, Judy, Matas. Thank you, Judy, for being here. Pam Porter, and who else is here? Manello. Well, thank you so much, Manello. Thank you for being here. Deborah Bowens. Let's see who else. Kathy G. TRC Rug. Thank you so much. Shirley Kearney. Lottie. Let's see. Elaine Parker, thank you, Elaine Parker. Nelson Zago, thank you so much. Sean, what's up, Sean? Haven't seen you for a while. Yes, Andrew is a sick old man. He's not getting any better either. He's just as sick now as he's always been. Probably worse. Let me see. Oh, I could take that out of there. Yeah, sure. And then let's see, Olivia Johnson. Did I say how already? Sugar Plum K. Deborah, I said hi. Veronica Quick, Cynthia Thorpe. Greetings, dear squatties, intrepid Baron, and the amazing Sussexes. Let's have fun today. I hope so. Just a little shade today, not a lot. Sharon Jones, hello. Sawboss, Black Queen, Trinette Mitchell, Naomi Maria, hello, and Janice Goodrich, Francilia Mosley, all right, Vivica Whitsett, all right, thank you so much for being here. Anastasia Isabella, okay, okay, Elaine Parker wants to say hi to a few people, educate you too. Novi D, Mo Shannon, Tina Taylor, Desiree T, Lucy Wynn. So, listen, you guys, I was supposed to be on my new computer today. I got confused. They delivered the case, but not the PC. So I have to wait till Monday. I thought it was a chance that it would come a day early, but it didn't. Well, actually, a couple days early, but it did not. So I'm a bit disappointed by that. I thought I would be, you know, loading software and all that kind of stuff, but no, I gotta wait. But it's okay, as long as I know it's coming. And the first thing I want to do is create a new opening for Royal Sussex. So I'm looking forward to that. And this is going to be all right. I'll put to you like this. Uh, Someone very near and dear to me said, that computer is a beast and you won't need another one for 10 years. So I'm looking forward to that. It has way more speed and efficiency than I'll probably ever need. And that's a good thing. Always best to over engineer these things, right? Susie Q, hello. Um, Eva, hi. Georgia Walker, thank you so much for the super sticker and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Yeah, it is Saturday, isn't it? Okay, well, let's get on with it then. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't hardly sleep with excitement. I'm just like, I don't want to miss my delivery. I don't want to. So I was, actually took me a little cat nap earlier. I got up with excitement and then I couldn't sleep. Okay, Barbara McKay, welcome. All right. All right. So let's get started then. Okay. So as we finished yesterday, and thank you so much. Who was that? AK something. Um, Someone yesterday made this announcement while I was on about Harry's up and coming event. And I'm like, yeah, we know he's already. And they said, no, this is something different. I was like, what? How did I not know about that? Well, it was something. Well, it is something different, and that, of course, is this event. Well, Harry is going to speak with a very prominent, very well-known expert. I think he's from Canada, and anyway, they are going to discuss grief and trauma and such. So that is something we could all. Anyway, the story broke in People magazine. The Duke of Sussex is gearing up for live virtual event to discuss his memoir. People exclusively reveals. Now that's interesting that people. Now you know what, you guys. That doesn't necessarily mean that this came from the Sussexes. It may have been the publisher that well, I mean, it's that, that went to People magazine. I mean, eventually they were going to make the announcement somewhere, so it may have been the publisher, because as we know, the Sussexes said they don't deal with the Royal Rotor anymore, and they pretty much like to depend on alternative press. But I guess sometimes you have to do what's practical. So most likely the publisher were the ones who approached them. But even if that's not the case, but I was wondering, how did that work out? Um, because, as you know, the Sussexes have been burned a few times by the tabloid media. And even though I like to think of People magazine as being above some of that, sometimes they're right in the thick of it. However, for this, I think they have a new editor as of last year, was it? So they've been um, a more fair resource than before. So let's hope that continues to be the case. Tina Taylor, thank you so much, Tina Taylor, 24/7. Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here on Royal Sussex. And happy Saturday to you. Thank you. I really appreciate you being here. So, hey, did I say hi, Mo Shannon? I think I did. Aha, yes, it was AU 95KA that broke the news for the squad. Are you here today? Thank you so much. I couldn't remember, but I now I do. Oh, there you go. Hi, Baron, Lydia Washington, Elaine Parker. Thank you so much for breaking the news yesterday about the up and coming event. So, Prince Harry is taking center stage at a virtual book event for his groundbreaking memoir, Spare. Now, notice the difference in the language. Okay, this is People magazine, right? So I'm trying to trust again, right? Notice they said groundbreaking. Now, audience participation, it takes as long as it takes. Instead of groundbreaking, what is they usually say when it has to do with the Sussexes? Come on, you guys know. They don't usually say groundbreaking is a what kind of book? Come on, I'm going to wait for it. I am going to wait for it. Ground up. There we go. We got a winner. There are no prizes, but we have a winner. H Knight said bombshell. Okay, got a few more bombshells. Very cool. Very cool. I noticed they didn't say bombshell. I'm just like, yes. See, I'm getting PTSD. Is it PTSD? Oh, whatever. Anyway, I'm getting that syndrome because of the tabloid media. Oh, controversial. That's good. That's good. But the word I was looking for was bombshell. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex and being a member. Greatly appreciated. But yes, it's always a bombshell book. Oh man. So I'm telling you, you have to be aware of the language. Although when it comes to the tabloid media, there's nothing you can really do about it. They're going to do what they're going to do. Um, and so, I didn't even bother to share this, but so if you spent years in jail for fraud, if you spend years in jail for fraud, what would be the first thing that you want to do when you get out of jail? Would you allow the British tabloid media to goad you into saying something negative about the Sussexes? I've, anybody in Britain, anyone who passes through that island, anyone who does an interview, if the media gets a hold of you, it is almost a certainty that they want you to go on the record and say something negative about the Sussexes. There's never any praise. There's never any, and of course, if you do praise them, then you make yourself a target of the tabloid media. They'll try to make sure you can never earn another dollar again. But yeah, so Boris Becker gets out of jail. And of course, the important thing for him, or the reason why they wanted to get him on the record, is because he tends to like his brown sugar. He tends to like his berries darker. And for that reason, since he has this attraction to Black women, Connie Bomber! Hey, Connie Bomber, we missed you yesterday. But yeah, since he has this attraction to Black women, they wanted to make sure that Harry understood the perils and tribulations that comes with marrying someone of color. You cannot marry someone of color, and in particular, an African American. How dare you? So they got him on record say, and I tried to find a direct quote because I wanted to think better of him, and I could not find it. So who knows if he actually said that? But that doesn't prevent the tabloid media from putting it out there anyway. They'll do that. So doesn't matter. They will just go there. Um, Also, I did not slow down the chat. I suppose either Lydia or Church Nelly may have done it, but I didn't slow it down. Let me see. Oh, what is a contribution list? How did she communicate with Baron with the contribution list? Would Baron have contact with info with her? I don't know who her is, but let me know if we could work that out. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what that is, so I'm going to pass. I don't know if that was code or not, so I'm going to pass. And as twisted as my mind is, everything seems like code to me. Hey, V. Thomas. V. Thomas wants to say hello to a few people. Oh man, I was so excited. I I was like a little kid. I thought for sure, even though I'm here with you guys, I'm still waiting for my computer. Um, I am looking forward to doing some editing stuff. I can't wait. Okay. I'm sorry, that wasn't for me. All right, so let me scroll here. Chell says, how wonderful that Tyler Perry and Harry's path crossed under such consequential, painful scenarios. What a small world. His mom met Tyler Perry's mom in Harlem, and in her eyes, she could do no wrong. Serendipity. I would say so. Um, you know, as I mentioned this before, and I I don't I have to say to anyone who's um, British, anyone who's English British, anyone who loved Diana as the Princess of Wales over there, you wouldn't believe the amount of affection that there was for Princess Diana here. I mean, as I'm saying this, anytime I mention this, I start getting the goosebumps. But it's true. And Mo Shannon has told me the story several times about how her grandmother let out this primal scream like someone was invading the house. But she got the news about Princess Diana and went into deep prayer. And um, likewise, when I found out, I had come in from the club, right? I'd come in from the club, and I answered the phone. There were no cell phones, so I answered the phone, and all I heard was, "They killed her! They killed her!" And I'm like, "What? Who killed who?" And then it was just like this flood of emotions, and I was like, "Oh, well, let me turn on the news so I can see what's going on." And then, of course, that's where I stayed stuck for the longest time. And so the outpour of emotion for Diana was something that was like a global event. That was what they hoped for when the Queen died, and what they hoped for, at least within Britain, when Philip died. But of course, it didn't quite materialize that way. And so it's something that happens organic. You can't force these things. And especially, no disrespect to the Queen or Philip, but y'all was very old. And while I'm sure there are some people that's gonna miss you, you beat most people. You have achieved a certain thing by the time you reach 90. So that's more than a lot of people will ever experience, and good for you. So it just didn't materialize that way. So that was that. But yeah, there was quite an outpour of emotion. So it does not surprise me that Tyler Perry's mother would have felt that way, because there were so many people that I know that was just, devastated. And um, I think I held it until I took a look at Harry and I saw the note from Harry on top of the coffin, and then I was just destroyed. That I was inconsolable at that point. So very big impact. And it every place that she had ever gone, there was nothing but kind words for Princess Diana. And so it's so hurtful to see that her existence is being made a mockery of by that institution, including her eldest child. But that's the way it is. And um, Harry is the only one, it seems, in the family that truly carries the torch for Diana. I'm not going to say that his grief is any more valid than his sibling. However, his sibling has a very different path in life, as Harry has said, and so his interpretation of what is considered a remembrance, or any type of consideration for Diana, is very different, vastly different, and painfully different. I would say that it's painfully different. So, um, what can you do? What can you do? I do what I can to keep Diana's memory alive, and I think about her, speak about her, when it makes sense, because it was a time I'm glad that I witnessed. I remember the wedding day, and from the wedding day, I was pulled into the royal family. And then, of course, after a while, I took a big sleep when Diana died, and I didn't think about it much, just the occasional story about Harry. And then I woke up from that sleep when Meghan married into the family. And that is also unfortunate, is that the outsiders that they vilify in that institution are the only ones that bring people to the institution, except for Kate. Kate Kate does not really move the needle as much as they pretend that Kate moves the needle. Just a bunch of the old royalists and sycophants really give them the time of day, but anyone else, not so much. Okay, so and let me see here. Well, I tell you what, you guys, if you want to know how to sign up for this, go to my community tab at the very top of the page where it says community tab. This was the last thing I posted on Royal Sussex. So if you are interested in this, make sure you go to the community tab and all shall be revealed. I promise. It is there. Also, I promised that I was gonna showcase a new channel today, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I'll do something about that tomorrow. So fret not, honey child. I will take care of it. Let me see here. Okay. Oh wait, that's wrong. I'm glad I caught myself. Um, I was on my burner account. I was on my Twitter burner account. I was about to post Royal Sussex, but I was on my Twitter burner account. You wouldn't believe some of the people who have blocked me, but that's okay. Let me try this again. I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to put that out there just yet because I don't know when I might need it. But I'm serious though. You'd be amazed at who blocked me. And sometimes I even almost block myself. I'm like, who is this nut job? And I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm like, who is this flipping lunatic? And then I realized that's me. So I seriously though, when I see my burner account, I'm like, this nut job needs some help. And then I'm like, oh wait, that's me. So if it looks like that to me, I could imagine what other people are thinking. Hey, Shelly L, what's up? Shelly L is in the house, and Shelly L wants to say hi to a few people. Shelly, I know that the California weather is making the news. I hope you're safe and dry because I hear it has been raining in places. I've seen vineyards covered in snow. So I hope you are safe and well. Mary Hiker, thank you so much for being here. Happy Saturday to you. So, yes, again, if you guys want to be there a week from today, um, I thought I saw the price of 33 US dollars for that. Oh, thank you so much. Lydia has the virtual tour. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. There you go. If you guys want to take a look there, that is how you can be there. And rodents, one of the rodents said, you have to pay in advance. I'm sure it's being vetted. I'm sure it's being vetted. I mean, is there like some prize amongst those horrible people to see who can be the most ridiculous? This is why I say there's really no room in this world for royal rodents. The royal rodents are the worst people. If only there was a solution, if only there was a solution to the problem with the royal rodents, if only someone had any type of something that would at least slow them down. They say that with real rodents, if they just smell a cat, they tend to find some other place to nest. So you don't have to, do anything horrible. You just need to have the presence of a cat and they will go away. So that is one way that you can deal with a royal rodent. I'm just saying, nobody should be harmed. I'm just saying, the whiff of a cat is enough to send them away, send them packing. Pedo is here. Hey, Pedo, thank you so much for being here. Pedo of Facts and Two Cents, as I like to say, nobody can prosecute the case like Pedo. The other day, Pedo was all over them like what you call it, F. Lee Bailey, like Clarence Darrow. So it was quite inspiring. Anytime I listen to Pedo, I'm like, I got to step my game up. I got to step my game up. So Pedo has had an effect on me, I could assure you. Um, I think oh, there we go. Just got a Cash App. Wow. Thank you so much. That was very nice and also very generous of you. Thank you so much for the Cash App. And also, thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. I don't want to say the name, but thank you, M. Thank you very much. All right. Oh boy, I almost hit that end broadcast. It was right there. I've done that a couple of times. They need to move that end broadcast button. I promise you that thing is in the way. Okay, let me see. Let me take this one. Nicole Tanner says, Baron Charles III didn't want Meghan in the firm from the beginning. He said his son seemed deeply in love with her, but his hope was they never get married. Well, from what Thomas Markle Sr. said on Australian television, and from all the events in between, it seems to be very accurate that they did not want Meghan to be a part of that family, that there seemed to be this need to get her on a plane to Mexico to meet with her father. And when she got there, who knows what would have been waiting for her. And I think what shocked him is that she didn't go. Um, Oh, okay. So there you go. Pedals, Facts and Two Cents is at the top of the chat. If you guys have not subscribed, if you have not shared or liked, you can go and make sure you subscribe. And then, of course, don't forget to share these channels. Always share. It doesn't cost you anything to share. So there you are. It's at the top of the chat. So I do believe that they expected Meghan to hop on that plane and go to what is it, Rosarito, Mexico. They wanted her to go to that oceanside village so that she can talk directly to her father and at least get her out of the country. And who knows what would have happened at that point. But it didn't go the way they expected, just like when Meghan finally was driven out of Narnia and she took Harry with her, as Jermaine Greer had predicted. And that wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. So there's a whole lot of things that they were trying to do. And the love that they had for each other, or that they continue to have for each other, but at the time, the love that the Sussexes had for each other, I don't know if people really know this, but I've heard a long time ago, statistically, mixed race marriages tend to last longer. Mixed race marriages seem to have a stronger union. The level of commitment is so much more intense than a traditional, I guess, homogeneous marriage, if that's the right word. So yeah, that's a fact. I heard that quite some time ago. Now, if that has changed over time, I'm not sure, but I do recall that statistic some years ago when I was watching some program about marrying outside of your race or marrying outside of your religion. And constantly, the families on either side, sometimes one family or both, are constantly trying to pull them apart. And it just doesn't go the way they expect. If something goes wrong, it usually has nothing to do with the family's desire to see them broken apart. But who could imagine what they said to Harry at the Sandringham summit? I shudder to think. Jazzy says, "Hi, Baron. I always listen to you, but never say anything. However, you are right about the royal family. Their time and era need to uh, be done away with, right? Yeah, because any institution that could perpetuate this type of vile and evil uh, uh, against a woman, a child, and a member of their own family, and now two children. They have gone to war. They have literally gone to war with a child. They have gone to war with a child over a name that the child had nothing to do with. The child had nothing to do with the name, but they have gone to war with a child over a name. Um, insinuated that the parents needed to ask permission and that they blindsided the very person that they were setting out to honor. All of those things, I just don't think an institution like that in today's age of enlightenment, if you will, has any relevance and does not deserve to exist as far as I'm concerned. So it cannot be done away with too soon. The idea that you need that institution to calm and steady the nerves of the people, well, that institution did absolutely nothing when this lie about leaving the European Union was going to turn into a referendum. No one in that family stood up to do anything about it. They just let it happen. And right now, you have tens of thousands of people, if not millions, that are paying the price. And the royal intervention was absolutely zero. So if the idea is that everything is okay so long as the royal family is there, you can't prove it by Brexit or just about anything else or any other time in history when they needed to step up to do something. I don't know how it made a difference, but that's somebody else's system. It's none of my business. But my concern is the black woman, the woman of color, the mixed race woman of African descent from America that has been set upon by that institution, allegedly, by the media, definitely. That is my concern. So if you can't have one without the other, I feel like both of those institutions can go, the tabloid media and the royal family. There's no place for that. There's absolutely no place for that. They can't stand on their own success or their own merit. The only way that they can big themselves up is to victimize other people. My eyes have been open. And as they say, once you become a pickle, you can never be a cucumber again. Okay, so before I go on, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me see. I think I can make this work out. There we go. So as I mentioned, there's a new sheriff in town. There you go. It's called the Sussex Royal Court. There's a new sheriff in town now. I have subscribed myself, and I'm going to offer to you guys that you probably should do the same. I wanted to put something on the community tab, but I didn't get an opportunity to do it because I've been so busy thinking about my new computer. But there it is in the what do you call this? In the top of the chat. Not at the top of the chat. I haven't done that yet. Okay, there it is. Now it's at the top of the chat. So there is yet another Sussex friendly platform available to you for those days when you think to yourself, if I hear Baron talk about that computer one more time, or if I hear Baron mention Cookie one more time, you have alternative channels that you can visit. So there you go. Let me see here. Let's have a little sample, shall we? Uh-oh. Wait. Okay, I got this.
The general public reacted to the release of Prince Harry's book, Despair. In America, the New York Times has stated that Prince Harry's book, Despair, has claimed the number one spot on the New York Times bestseller list. That is quite a feat for someone who has never written a book before in their entire lives. In another publication, the Los Angeles Times, it is reported that Prince Harry's book Despair sells 3.2 million copies in its first week.
Okay, so there you go. You have another Sussex friendly platform that you can visit. There you go. Let's see. So let me take that away. Okay. The royal rodents lack intelligence, integrity, and honesty. That's why the Sussexes don't fool with those racist idiots. I couldn't say it better myself. Cookies and cream. Thank you so much for that. Let me see here. Yes, prayers for the West Coast and the East Coast. Really, what's going on the East Coast? Really? Oh yeah, the ice storm and everything moved that direction, right? Let me see. CR says, and CR does not mean Charles Rex. This is another CR. This is someone else. Although that's just a coincidence, right? It doesn't mean Camilla Regina or Charles Rex. It means CR. Okay. Baron, I'm disgusted with that family. Camilla's grandchildren and kids get to participate in the ceremony and appear on the balcony. Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. Let me keep moving so I can get to that part. All right. Let me cuz I'm getting so far behind with everything. Yes, Pedro, that's true. Lord, these families are the worst. They are. And the bad part about it is, so far, it seems like they're getting away with it. So, Niecy Nash Betts, Angela Bassett, and Gina Prince Bythewood take trophies at NAACP Image Award non-televised dinner. So this was non-televised. I keep forgetting what did Gina Prince Bythewood. Be honest with you, I've never heard of her before. I know Niecy Nash was in that. Oh gosh, what is his name? Production. Anyway, I know she was in that series, and Angela Bassett. Well, if you guys haven't seen, even if you're not a fan of the Marvel universe, even if you don't like those superhero movies, let me tell you something. Angela Bassett gave a tour de force performance in that movie. That movie, that movie, I believe, is going to be the first time that any actor um, has won an Oscar for playing in a Marvel movie. I do believe that'll be a first, right? I know she's going to win. She has to. She was magnificent. I, I always known. I mean, it's just like the air I breathe. I know I need to breathe. I know Angela Bassett is a fantastic actor. However, when seeing the Wakanda Forever, I was just blown away. So come on, do your thing. Make sure she gets her Oscar. Make sure she gets her flowers. She's sweeping awards everywhere, and she should. So she's just magnificent. Okay. And there we go. This week, our book club members met for the first discussion of the year to talk about the book Spare by Prince Harry. They enjoyed a selection of British and American treats whilst debating the book's revelations. Um, Very cute. They're holding up the photos of the place cards or whatever are the photos of the royal family. I don't know if somebody lost a bet or drew a short straw or the long straw to get that corgi, but or it may be typecast. It may be typecasting, but it could have been worse. I mean, it could have been Camilla or God help us, Philip. But very sweet, very sweet. Another demonstration of the popularity of Spare, and I like sharing those because, it's refreshing that while people are trying to tear that book down, trying to deny its success, over and over again, we see libraries and book clubs all across. Speaking of which, Pedo had a book club earlier today. But yeah, there's been so much outpouring of affection for Harry. Also, there have been nothing but positive things said about the book by very serious minded people, not the tabloid media, not those royal gossipers, but the book is having quite the impact, as evident by its stellar sales. So there you go. All right. And so let's get to that. Let me see. Well, let's hear it then. I didn't think I could dislike Camilla anymore, but knowing that she spoke up for the doll book issue and got the publisher to retreat from their censor, but wouldn't speak up for Megan. Well, yeah, and that's what someone said on Twitter. I forget his name, but I think he's a blue check mark. And he's like, "Yeah, you could speak up for this, but you won't speak up for that." Still waiting for you to speak up about Jeremy Clarkson, and we wait exactly, and we wait, and still nothing. That whole thing played out, and then of course it makes me very curious about how ill she could have possibly have been, because as soon as she comes back from the illness, then all of a sudden she's everywhere. Now she's ready to see and be seen. um but yeah, it's very eerie the way Camilla seems to have, let me see, where is it? Right here. Silent on Jeremy Clarkson. Exactly. So thank you so much, Desiree T. Is right there. Queen's dismay at cuts to Dahl's book. And of course, the cuts, from what I'm to understand, is anything that mentions weight, sexual orientation, I suppose, was it? Anything that mentioned anything identifying, anything that was descriptive about a character that would uh, be considered, how do I put it, totally not PC, then they omitted it from the book. So I don't know. I don't really care. Um, just leave the Sussexes alone. That's all I care about. I don't care nothing about that. And that Camilla decided that this is the heel that she was going to charge up to challenge things for the righteous. Still not impressed. Still not impressed. Okay, so there we are. So Camilla will be queen. I mentioned that yesterday, if you guys remember. I mentioned that yesterday. Someone said yesterday, and isn't that interesting? They said Queen's dismay at cuts to Dollar Book. So people said yesterday they have decided to do the big rollout. Now they've mentioned before that they were going to get rid of the Queen. I'm sorry, the Queen Consort. They said that before. Boy, was that a Freudian slip? They said before that they were going to do away with Queen Consort and that she would just be called the Queen. Well, that was kind of like here and there, but now it is said that after the coronation, it's just Queen. Yeah, it's just Queen. Camilla will be officially will be known as the Queen rather than Queen Consort after King Charles' coronation. There you have it. And it was in big blaring letters today. Camilla will officially be known as the Queen rather than Queen Consort after King Charles's coronation. I mean, and what gets me is take a look at the smaller one right there. There is Princess Diana's image, and they want to make sure that her eyes are casting up from beneath. And William is practically in bed with these people. This is how his mother is treated by the very rags that he depends upon to elevate his image. And this is not the first one. I saw another one yesterday. Oh, well, why am I just saying that? Why don't I just get to it? Well, let me do this first. Let me do this first. Where's the one from yesterday? There it is. There it is. So they put Diana and that silky chicken side by side as if that photo was just taken yesterday. But of course, that is some very clever editing where they takes Diana's image and even have her elbow in front of Camilla's as though they're actually standing side by side. Well, the truth is that is Photoshop. That is editing. And William is okay with this. And by the way, that is from The Sun. That was the front page of Rupert Murdoch's Sun. The memory of Diana being disrespected by the tabloid media. Again, that is a test to see how far they can go. They want to see how far can they push Diana down once and for all while they elevate the silky chicken, while they elevate Camilla. I was so bothered by that. I couldn't even put Camilla, I mean, couldn't put the picture up there and look at Camilla's face. So I decided to cover it with a silky chicken. I almost didn't realize it was a silky chicken edit, but I just realized that's exactly what I did. But that's where we are right now. She's married to Diana's husband. She's practically wearing Diana's clothes. I mean, she's went and found the designer that gave Diana some of her most memorable looks. So, is the silky chicken trying to live Diana's life, and then you have Kate trying to be Megan. Um, oh man, these people are the most twisted people. Twisted. It's like some type of cult. Thank you so much, Aseta. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for being here. Love you too. Thank you very much. And thank you, is it Karuna Reina? Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here on Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Okay, so I'm going to catch up on a few of the comments. The unroyal family allowed newborn baby Lily to be racially abused for several weeks over a name. This is insanity. The queen doesn't own the name Lilibet. Yeah, that was supposed to honor her. And the fact that there was no response, um, I'm very disturbed by that. I believe that there were reasons why the queen at some point went off the radar. I hate to think the worst, but I do believe that Harry had a point when he said that there were elements around her that he was worried about, in so many words. And so I'm wondering if that's how it happened, or did the queen, okay that? I mean, there are some old people that are just absolutely mean. And then, of course, there are old people who have no way to, have any license over their day, over their lives anymore. So I don't know which one it was. And that will forever bother me, but I don't know which one it was. Let me see here. Manella says, Baron still bothers me when Harry told Willie that he also wishes to get married. Big Bro told him it may not happen for you, Harold. That's gaslighting, isn't it? Willie has long been having a pull me down syndrome on Harry. Yeah, um, I've experienced something like that from a sibling over a driver's license of all things. Um, you know, I, a total gaslighting, and all these years later, I still remember that like it was yesterday. I still remember it like yesterday. Maybe you're one of those people that'll never drive, and the need to try to tear me down like that. Now I realize that it was jealousy. I could not recognize it for what it was because that was what, some 35 years ago or something like that, or 40 years ago, whatever. I didn't see it for what it was, but now I totally recognize it. So as I'm going through Spare, and as I'm, hearing these recounts of Harry's life experience in that family, and I'm just like, no wonder the book resonates with so many people because there's a lot to identify with. There's a lot of these sibling rivalry and such, the jealousy, the maliciousness that so many people can identify with. And yeah, I see myself in some of those pages. I really do. Interesting how that works out. Oh, thank you so much for that. Marjorie says CBS and BET will be carrying the televised segment of the NAACP Awards at 8 p.m. tonight. Lovely. That's, let me see. For the East Coast, that should be what? Let me see. You said, oh yeah, what time zone is that? 8 p.m. tonight. I'm going to guess that's East Coast. So that's what, an hour from now? 2 hours from now? Hour from now. And for the Central, that would be almost 2 hours. So yeah. Yeah, if you guys could give us the time zone, that would be so helpful. But we could always look it up. Thank you so much for that. Let me see here. Okay, okay, I thought about that too. I thought about that too. I thought about that too. Let me get back over here with this. This is from today, and I'm gonna have to bypass most of these. But thank you so much for these comments. Uh, yeah, I hate to miss anything, but because it's usually some really good stuff here. And you guys, I learned so much, especially like Lambert Charles. Baron, I am convinced that these wicked people are responsible for Diana's death and possible the Queen's. All of this, of course, is alleged, but you know, um, the Queen wasn't seen for months, and people were speculating that she was already gone. Now, I'm not saying I believe that, but it does make one wonder why all of a sudden she had gone off the radar like that. And then, of course, meeting with Liz Truss, not to feed into the conspiracy theories, but let's just say it. Instead of a video, we were treated to a couple of still photos, right? But then, of course, that would mean that Liz Truss was in on it. And as much as I think she's a real whack job, I don't want to believe that. So it's hard to say. And then as for Diana, um, that will forever be shrouded in mystery. And it's a question for the ages. But there was a very good documentary about that, and it's hard to know exactly who was responsible. But the one thing that I keep hearing in my head is a Muslim for the stepfather of the future king of England. I keep hearing that in my head. So that may mean different things to different people, right? I'm sure. But yeah, thank you so much for that, Charles Lambert. But I don't think we'll ever know the truth. But there's definitely a lot to consider with both. Let me see. Shirley Kearney says, Barry, when I reflect back, the Queen was forever giving Meghan praise. And I think that is another reason why they were trying to get rid of Meghan. Yeah, Meghan was not just breaking barriers by marrying into the family, but she was breaking barriers with the Queen and all of the perceived protocols surrounding the Queen, like going to church, going to the Westminster Abbey before they were married. It took Kate 5 years to meet the Queen. And Kate had never been invited on the royal train with the Queen. There was a lot of things that happened for Meghan because the Queen was quite fond of her. And then suddenly something changed. And let's face it, William is a bully. And Charles, from what I hear, the royal households, Charles gave a implied consent, allegedly, to his royal household to pretty much bully the Queen's royal household in a way that they pretty much looked down on the Queen's royal household toward the end, and that essentially they took power away from the Queen, allegedly via the courtiers. And the Queen became increasingly less relevant when it came time to make a decision. And I believe that the last time the Queen made a solid decision was about the uniforms at Philip's funeral. I do. I believe that was the last time that the Queen actually made a decision. And then after that, I don't think she had any say over anything. I believe that was the last act of the Queen was those uniforms. But everything else, I do believe that someone else was calling the shots. I don't know how Harry was able to meet her that day, who she trusted enough to make that happen. Did she even know they were coming? But somebody opened the door for them. Somebody opened the door for them. And whether or not the Queen had something to do with it, I don't know. I can't figure that out. But I don't think the Queen made any decisions since Philip's funeral. After that, it seems like from that point, everything seemed to come out of somebody else's mouth. Every decision seemed to come from someone else. And the Queen was just kind of like almost like some type of puppet, like a puppet. Just like, remember the Time magazine where they had the cardboard cutout of the Queen? Maybe they were trying to tell us something. Maybe they knew something. Maybe they knew something. Whoever the artist was for that Time magazine, maybe they knew something, that the Queen was a cardboard cutout. There was what, the G7, G8, whatever summit, or was it the CO2, whatever it was, the Queen was supposed to attend the event, and instead they just had a cardboard cutout. Maybe that was a message. Maybe that was something that someone in the know realized and just decided to put it out there. So Lydia says, Baron, our Rochelle Baudreau had a great idea to do a Harry and Meghan Netflix watch party of the docuseries Sunday, the 26th. When is it? Oh, tomorrow. Get it back in the top 10. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. I'm not sure exactly how that would go. Especially, you know how I am at organizing stuff. And would we watch it tonight, or would we all watch it at the same time, or how would that work? Um, let's get back with that one. But I mean, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I mean, it'd be a good idea. I just, the details have to work that out. But yeah, I don't mind anything that'll help. But and getting it back to number one, I'm all for that. I am all for that. So yeah, let's try to make that happen. And thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the idea, Rochelle Bardot. Okay. All right, so let's keep moving. So, Camilla's grandchildren to star in King's blended family coronation. And another thing here says Camilla's crowning glories. And you can see the family tree. It looks like she has 5 grandkids. Are those great grandkids? Grandkids, I think. Anyway, it seems as though she has 5. No, I think those are great grandkids, right? No, grandkids. Yeah. So those are the grandkids. And they are to be a part of the coronation. So let's review. She is for henceforth going to have the title the Queen. So she has taken over Diana's life, and even, I mean, let's face it, she's taken Betty's place. Betty was the queen. Have you guys ever heard someone on one of those documentaries or whatever? They say there are other royal households, there are other queens, but to most people in the world, there is only one, the queen. There is only one, the queen. So Camilla is going to erase that, is going to erase that. The queen is now Camilla. So when you say the queen, there will be no confusion that you mean Elizabeth II. It's Camilla. Camilla wants to be the queen. And people are going along with this. Even the people who wanted us to get worked up and so distraught over Lizzie's death, but they are not going to say anything. They are not going to protest. Camilla is going to be the queen. Doesn't matter that there's a queen in where is it? The Netherlands? No. Doesn't matter that there is a sovereign, a ruling queen of Denmark. Camilla is the queen. Camilla will be, for the most of the Western world, most of the all of the English speaking world, she wants to be the queen. And the tabloid is giving this to her. The tabloid media is going to give her this gift. I'm telling you guys, this is really deep. This is really deep. They are going to give her the title, the Queen, not Queen Consort and not Princess Consort, as they promised before the Queen signed that release saying, well, oh, there she is, signed that release. This is what I'm looking for. Accession Day, 2022, 70 years on the throne. And what does the Queen tell the world? Make sure you call that heretic Queen Consort. And then the Queen, died in September. She said this, last February of 2022. And in that short period of time, it has become simply the Queen. I'm telling you, this is, I don't care. I don't really care. Except for one thing. I'm sure all of this is to spite Diana. All of this is part of the concentrated effort to erase Diana. Diana is being erased from the history. Erased. She has been cast away from the collective memories and declared mentally unfit, a troublemaker, conniving, scheming, all of those things. That is the way, if you're going to remember Diana, that's how you have to remember her. Baron, I trust Harry's commitment to the memory of his late beloved mother. Um, he will one. Well, let me see. He will one prosecute the case. Nothing. I'm sorry. He's the one, right? He's well, okay. Nothing is ever settled until it's settled, right? I hope so. I hope so. But I am very bothered by this. This really does bother me because I'm looking at this play out. I'm looking at this play out, and the real test is if they can get the people on American television or Canadian television, if they can get people in Australia, if they can get those networks, those newspapers to refer to her as simply the Queen, she's won. She's won. She's won. The institution would have totally um, ruined any chance of Diana actually being remembered as the thing that saved the the person that saved the monarchy. They want to erase that. Diana saving the monarchy cannot be a thing. It is Kate is the future of the monarchy. Kate is the savior of the monarchy, but you could see that instead of talking about Kate all the time, instead of all Kate all the time, it has flipped over to Camilla. It's all Camilla all the time. And Camilla being off sick, maybe she was, maybe she wasn't, but Camilla has been up late at night smoking and or allegedly smoking. I don't know if she still smokes, but she's been doing plenty to orchestrate this. And now her children are likely to get titles, and the grandchildren are going to play an active role in the monarchy, or at least the coronation. Huh. Not bad for a day's work. Oh my God, I've been watching the documentary every other week. You talking about the Harry and Meghan documentary, the docu-series? I need to go back and watch it again. I really do. I need to go back and watch it again because there's so much happening. And you know, when you go back, you see stuff that you haven't seen the first time. So it would be well worth it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to skip ahead. I see Shelly L has a super chat. Oh boy, there's a lot of comments. Shelly L says they're going to do to Diana what they did to the Queen Charlotte. Her true history is purposely vague, while everyone around her has more details than we care to know about. That's a great point, Shelly L. That is a great point. Um, they want her memory to be vague and ambiguous. They wanted to make it seem as though she was ineffective, that she was just a footnote in history rather than the people's princess. And just think about how clever this is. So Camilla says, "Oh no, I do not want them to call me the Princess of Wales." Even though technically Camilla was the Princess of Wales. She's just going to go by Duchess of Cornwall. All right, fine. And when the Queen dies, they're not going to call me Queen Consort. I will become the Princess Consort, right? Right. Only for the Queen to sit there on her accession day and somehow say, "Oh, you know what? You know what? She's a real team player. I don't want you all to call her Princess Consort. Call her the Queen Consort and give her the same respect and consideration that you would have given me," in so many words. So she has gone from Duchess of Cornwall to Queen Consort, skipping, bypassing Princess of Wales for obvious reasons, and then she leapfrogs right into the position where when people say the Queen, they have managed to erase the idea that anybody would normally think that you're talking about, QE2, and now it's going to be Camilla, Queen Camilla, the Queen. It's not so much that it's Queen Camilla, but she wants the Queen. So anybody who ever stood in her way, like the Queen who refused to meet her, or Diana, who said once she latches onto something, she's just like a Rottweiler. So Diana, her memory is being eliminated, and the Queen, they are literally erasing QE2. They are eliminating the Queen. And now Camilla is the Queen. Trust me when I say this. Betty's gone. QE2 is no more. She is going to be just a little vague memory, as Shelley L. just said about Queen Charlotte. Just a little vague memory to the likes of which there's no discernible information, just little tidbits here and there. Boy, boy, boy. I hate to say these things. I really take no pleasure in it, but I see what I see. I see what I see. And so they want you to forever associate the Queen with Camilla. And QE2, not so much. Camilla wants to be the Queen. Oh God. If I I totally did not see this coming. I did not see this coming. Although when Accession Day happened and the Queen said call her Queen Consort, I knew that was a big move. I was shocked by that. As a matter of fact, didn't I show you guys? Let's go here. Let's go here. And I hate to keep bringing this up, but this is so important because today is Betty. Yesterday it was Diana. And then you know who's next. Y'all know who's next. We all know who's next. Richard Palmer said, our exclusive story from this morning, Daily Express rather, the Queen did not consult the government over U-turn on Queen Camilla. So when the Queen said call her Queen Consort, she didn't go through the normal channels, the Privy Council and such. It just happened. And so when I tell you guys, I don't think the Queen was really calling the shots around that time. I hope you believe me now. Why would the Queen do that? Someone who has been her whole 70-year reign, or most of it, should I say, totally preoccupied with the rules and procedures. They said when the Queen watched any period piece, the only thing that the Queen was interested in was did they put the proper medals on? Did everything go according to the typical protocol, especially military stuff? They said the Queen would have a scorecard to figure out if they got things right. She didn't care about the story, but are they doing things properly? And so that same Queen would give her consent to calling the side piece. And they say the Queen was very religious. As a very religious person, the Queen would want the side piece to fulfill her role, to take her place in the hearts and minds of people, or at least try. I find that hard to believe. With one exception, the Queen's announcement was universally applauded. And then, of course, they tried to turn it around and make it seem like the Sussexes are the ones who are not seeing things the proper way. That was the big deception, the big distraction was let's put it on the Sussexes. Thank you so much, Shelley L. But oh my God. And to think that this nightmare is playing out and they're getting away with it. They are getting away with it. Cookies and Cream says everyone who have not Red Spare Audible is offering a 30-day free trial. Please pass on the information to as many people as possible. Let's help keep Spare at number one. Very good, Cookies and Cream. Thank you so much for reminding us that. I thought I saw that somewhere. Let me see here. Baron, you will see the desperate one may have been ironing those loose clothes on face for coronation. Oh man, and the corona. What is that? Absence may and maybe just maybe bleaching those. Oh yeah, cigarette stained teeth. Thank you so much for that, Manello. Rick, thank you for the super sticker and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Here's one I've never seen before. I've always wondered if any of Camilla's kids are Charles, allegedly. Um, they always cheated on spouses. He pays for their security, and now the grandkids are part of the coronation. Well, it does make one wonder. It does. It would not be too much of a stretch for that to be true. We don't know for sure. As they say, you know how they say that any proper gentleman would lay down his life for the king. Well, in modern times, we realize that any red blooded British gentleman would lay down his wife for the queen. And that appears to be exactly what's happened in the Parker Bowles household. Um, as you know, there was an adulterous affair. I don't even have to say allegedly because everybody knows it was true that Charles was cheating on Diana and Camilla was cheating on her old man. And so, as life goes, you never know, um, you know, about the children. So, that is always a possibility, but as it has not been confirmed, and as you know, Royal Sussex has reached out to the Parker Bowles household, and Royal Sussex has reached. I'm just kidding. I just love saying that. Okay, let me see. Nissa Gate, thank you so much for the super sticker. And Manello, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you both so much, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex, and happy Saturday. Okay, so as I am so far behind, did anybody slow down the chat? Because I don't think I did. Let me see. Naomi Maria says, Baron, it is obvious Camilla and Charles bullied her into making that announcement. My instinct, they've been bullying QE2 for some time. Well, Naomi Maria, I don't know how it happened, but I do believe that the Queen may not have um, said much about anything going on except for those uniforms at Philip's funeral. Because the way they carried on at her funeral, that tells me that if the powers that wanted to have the last word would have had the last word on that occasion, then it would have gone the same way that things had gone at the Queen's funeral. So the Queen allegedly said, nobody's wearing a uniform. End of story. But then when it came to her own funeral, yielding to the pressure of the public, they allowed Harry to wear his uniform only to use that as a setup to besmirch his character and, of course, try to cause him as much embarrassment as possible when I think nobody would have noticed one way or the other. So someone on the inside had to have pointed that out. I want to believe that those ciphers were in a drawer somewhere back in Montecito, and who knew you were going to need it. So that's what I believe. But thank you so much for your comment. Okay. Oh. Come on, Kathy Gabby. Baron, the coronation is the big wedding Camilla did not have. She will have it. Yes. Kathy Gabby, See what I say when I say that you guys, when I say that you all come up with some stuff, I'm telling you, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. Diana's designer, although he didn't design her wedding gown, Diana's husband, the Queen's title, the Queen. Oh my God. This is getting more and more interesting. It is becoming increasingly interesting by the second. I mean, there is just so much to take in, but that makes so much sense. This is the big wedding that she never had with Charles. And the entire world will be looking. Oh, oh, that is brilliant. Give me a second to take that in. Okay. Okay. I'm good. Oh my God. It's more sinister than I thought. It is more sinister than I thought. Have met her several times. I really like Camilla, but the PR campaign and spin of the last week has been extraordinary. The Daily Mail would have been the first people to lay siege to any idea of Queen Camilla. Now they are putty in, is it Charles's hands or whoever's hand? The invisible contract is real. Now that was Emily Andrews. I'm telling you, everybody was caught off guard by that. It was not supposed to happen. And it did. They took advantage of that old lady. Thank you, Black Queen. Oh, man. It all makes so much sense now. Check her kids' ears. Oh, that gene is a strong one. You're right. If they in any way resemble the flight of Dumbo, then I think we got a winner. Thank you so much, Shelly L. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, you guys, let me catch up here because it has been so much coming in, and I have missed so much. Let me see here. Will not be watching. Is that tampon? Come on. And the old man Charles coronation. Lynn, I'm going to watch because I want to see if the anointing oil causes them to burst into flames. I want to see if they start wiggling and going into convulsions like that movie, The Thing. That's what I want to see. Is if they're going to do like the alien and something's going to pop out of their torso like a little miniature consort. Oh man, this is too much to think about. Yes, and only 10 weeks to go. It's going to be 10 more weeks. And while they're talking about will they go or won't they go, Megan feels left out of the planning. Harry is not sure. Harry wants an apology. While they're doing all of this, while they're doing all of this, they have been behind the scenes coming up with some doozies. And he or wait, she that laughs laugh. Wait, she who laughs, you know what I'm trying to say. She who laughs last laughs the best. Well, I don't know if it's the best, but oh my God. The plot thickens. The plot thickens. That's just what I said. The plot thickens. So this is how the photo looked before I put the silky chicken head. That is the way the Sun ran that article yesterday. And if you guys don't know, the biracial gentleman who is of Jamaican and I think Irish or Jamaican and Scottish descent He was Diana's designer for about 10 minutes, and then he wasn't. But I think they had like a 10-year collaboration when it came to her look. Now, God, oh. Now he said, the designer said that every day, let me see, do I have that from yesterday? Oh my God, you guys, this is all coming together. This is all, the whole twisted plan is coming together. Take a look at this. He said, when I look back, it was relentless for her. We did dress her up like she was going to a wedding every day. That's what the designer said. And now, thanks to the Sussex Squad Detective Agency, now we realize that Camilla is looking forward to this being the big wedding that she never had, with a gown designed by Diana's designer. Oh my God, this is all coming together. You know what? You all deserve 3 bells. All of you all here at the Sussex Squad Detective Agency. I'm telling you, I don't like what I'm hearing, but I cannot avoid the truth. Yeah, yeah. I was just about to say that. It makes me sick. So Camilla has taken over, just like a virus, just like the blob. She has consumed Diana's life. She has consumed the queen's life. Who else is she going to take in? This is just sick. Sick! Oh, okay. So she reigns from California. I like that. There is no way I will watch the coronation. Even talking about it this much is playing into their hands. Stop. I can't. I can't. I can't. It's not going to make it not happen. It is playing out. And I believe we are getting somewhere. But this is like, I would not have considered that. It all makes so much sense now. All of it makes sense. This is the big wedding. Now, if you see there in the circle, who is that in the background wearing white? Camilla. And you can see Charles is looking over to Camilla. Now, I can't tell if Diana is, although I have heard that Diana has, or should I say, was actually scanning the crowd, hoping that it's almost embarrassing to say rival, but hoping that the rival isn't there. But she was, and there she was wearing white. And in spite of everybody else smiling, Camilla is not. I mean, you could just tell. I don't see that big gummy grin anywhere, do you? Camilla's not smiling. Everybody else in the crowd is smiling. Everybody except Camilla. That's the only one who is not smiling. Oh, that's the only one that is not smiling. Is she's not prancing. You don't hear her hoof hitting the floor. None of that. She's the only one that's not smiling. Oh, boy, I tell you. Oh, you guys, thank you so much for today. So much has been revealed. This has like been the most revealing Royal Sussex ever, I think. Let me see. Lydia Washington says there are a few ladies there in white. How many girlfriends? No, no. Let me go back. Let me go back. Okay. Now, let's see. The one off to the left, white hat, kind of a pink. I mean, these are grainy photos. I see an off-white, but the only one I see in white is Camilla. I mean, they're wearing pastel colors, not unusual for a wedding. But Camilla's the only one in white, head to toe white. Okay, and to be honest, I don't know what she's wearing on the lower part of her bizarre torso, but ugh, ugh, it's hard to say. I see pastels, but I don't see all white, except for Camilla, possibly Camilla. Let me see. Don't ruin it with Camilla. Oh man, all has been revealed today. Thanks to the Sussex Squad Detective Agency, Camilla has been playing chess since day one. I believe Harry watched the whole thing play out. I believe that too. I believe that too. And it's probably been quite the torture. And do you guys remember they said Camilla didn't like the way that Harry would leer at her? Maybe that's because Harry saw what was coming. Maybe if that is true, the alleged leering at her, looking through her, maybe that's why. Maybe Harry was wondering, if I hold up a mirror, will she cast a reflection? Maybe that's what Harry was looking at. Thank you so much, Shelly L. Okay, let's continue. This is just so I saw a 1902 coronation for, what was it? Whoever Queen Victoria's heir. What was his name? Was it George or something? Well, anyway, this is an illustration and a painting of the coronation from 1902. Victoria died in 1901, so the coronation took place in 1902. And so I reimagined that moment, and I tried to figure out, how would Camilla look on her coronation day. And so this is the best I could come up with. Apparently, there would be a lot of teeth, a lot of wrinkles, fluffy hair, but otherwise, your basic. And who knows? Maybe she'll become so excited she'll start to whinny. Um, and no doubt the ladies in waiting will carry sugar cubes in their pockets, carrots or sugar cubes or something to pacify her from all the excitement that she's going to experience on Coronation Day. So yeah, that's the way I see it. If I had to reimagine it, it would probably look just like this. Uh, oh, wait a minute. Um, you should have used the horse head. I wasn't sure that I didn't. Let me see. Well, it is a okay. So use the one with the crown. I get what you're saying. Instead of using that horse head, I should have used the one with the crown. I got you. I got you. Okay. Now, I could not verify this, but it is alleged that Harry Styles turned down Charles III, and that the guy who played the American love interest in Emily Goes to Paris, and also the Diana the musical. His name is Ro Hartrumpf. Hartrumpf. Anyway, they wanted him to sing, and he turned it down. Now, I couldn't verify these. I saw this on the Twitter, but I couldn't verify it. So, full disclosure, it may or may not be true. I could not find any other information except for the person, or persons, should I say, that put these up there. I like to verify stuff. And while I want to believe that this is true, while I am inclined to believe that it's true, I couldn't find any qualified news outlets to collaborate that. So Full disclosure, I don't know it to be true, but that's what is being reported. Oh, thank you so much. She reigns from California. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. All right. So, um, houndstooth. As what a coincidence. We're talking about Camilla, and suddenly someone's wearing houndstooth. Um, you guys, I told you it wouldn't last. I told you it wouldn't last. The so-called fashion plate has finally reverted to kind, and she's wearing tights, a coat dress, and because she's aging before our very eyes, have you guys noticed what else she's wearing? She has her neck covered up. Now you know that there is that moment when one feels the need to start covering up their neck. That you know what I mean? When people feel that need to cover up their neck, every photo they take, they cover up their neck. You know that is a transitional period um, in a person's life when they have to cover up that neck. So the other thing I want you guys to take, I told you I was going to be a little messy today. The other thing I want you to take notice of is notice that the head, as per usual, is starting to list to one side. It reminds me of the old RCA dog. What was his name? Nipper. It reminds me of Nipper, the way anytime he would hear the phonograph playing, Nipper's head would list over to one side. Not that I'm comparing her to a canine, even though she is wearing houndstooth, but her head is listing to one side like Nipper. Um, and I noticed that just like you know how sometimes when you fuss at a dog and the dog don't know what you say and they just looking at you. I noticed that she tends to do that sometime. Now, I'm not comparing the future Queen of England to a canine. I'm just saying that seems to be that little tick that she has. But it looks like somebody forgot to turn on the Photoshop because the neck is covered up. She's aging before our eyes. And I told you guys, just wait. It's not going to take long before she gets back into the costume of choice. She was probably very uncomfortable dressing up like Megan, even though she tried to pretend otherwise. But I told you, she's going to get tired. She's going to get exhausted. All of this cosplay takes a lot of energy out of you, and so as you can see, I was right. The cosplay has gotten the better of her, and she probably couldn't wait. I mean, this is not her set point. This is cosplay. This is her set point. So I told you it would be just a matter of time. So from the Rottweiler to the Houndstooth and beyond. And of course, it's not the first time. And please don't think that I'm just showing these pictures of her to be shady, but I'm telling you, she's aging before our eyes. She's at that point where she's starting to crack. The crown princess of Denmark is 52 and looks younger than her. And by the way, whether you like her or not, Paris Hilton is actually a year older than Kate. No, I think Paris Hilton just turned what, 42? Paris Hilton is 2 years older than Kate. I'm just saying, 2 years older. Now, yesterday we discussed Bethany, the hater, and we all agreed that karma is a B, and I mentioned also this seems to be that same ploy that Hoghead was using. And I didn't have the photos yesterday, but there you go. Pierce Morgan rushed to hospital. And so he uploads this photo because he wanted all of his fans to know that he was fighting for his life and that he was fighting for him. And of course, the hard part is trying to find a fan. I don't know what a Pierce Morgan fan looks like. Um, I finally found one, as you guys may recall. I found someone who actually not only is a fan of Pierce Morgan, but went out of his way to go and comfort him while while he convalesced at home and recovered from his very questionable and vague illness. So I'm just trying to say, Pierce Morgan is not without fans, and anybody who believes that is missing the whole point. He does have fans. Even a hog head has fans. So there you go. And even here, he finally did return to work. As you can see, Meg Flick's bombshell documentary is always a bombshell, isn't it? So he recovered, and Bethany Frankel will recover too. So if there's the odd Bethany Frankel fan listening to Royal Sussex, I just want you to know she gonna be all right. All right, all right. So but if you guys recall, Pierce Morgan, this was, I forgot which paper ran this, but there's Pierce Morgan. He went all the way over to Kensington Palace to imply that he was doing the bidding of the royal family. And I'm convinced he was, but I just think that they assumed it was for Will and Kate, but we all know who the real connection was. It wasn't Will and Kate, not directly. His connection was with Camilla, allegedly, possibly. Camilla was the connection. So Camilla has been pulling the strings in the background for quite some time, and it's all going to play out on Archie's birthday, which, you know what? I got to think about, I had to rethink that again. I thought Charles was the one being shady by choosing Archie's birthday. I think I know better now. I really think I have a better understanding of whose idea it was to choose Archie's birthday. TRC Rug, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Prince Harry's portrait of Camilla the villain bears no resemblance to the earthy, authentic, and engaging lady I've gotten to know. I've got to know. Um, now we know. Now we know, or at least we could assume, who's been orchestrating for a long time. I kept thinking Kensington Palace, Kensington Palace. Well, I do believe Kensington Palace, and of course, uh, Will and Kate are the alleged ones that ran the Sussexes out of Kensington Palace, and eventually the reason why they probably left the country. But I also have to consider that they were not alone in this bashing, in these attacks upon the Sussexes. They were not alone. There were plenty actors behind the scenes, and there's William um, talking about how the BBC ruined my mother's life. William is literally given a speech that was, he didn't write that speech. They gave him that speech so that he could shift the blame for his mother's mysterious death in a tunnel in Paris. Instead of blaming the paparazzi, right? They are trying to shift the blame to a publicly funded television network, the BBC. So it's all Martin Bashir and the BBC. It had nothing to do with the Sun, the Mail, the Examiner, Express. None of those people had anything to do with it. It's not saying that directly, but I think what is implied is that the BBC and Martin Bashir are the ones that are responsible for Diana's demise. her mysterious death in the tunnel in Paris, the reason why the marriage fell apart, the reason why she was paranoid and delusional. Never mind how many people were plotting against her. None of that should be considered. What we're supposed to assume, what we are to extrapolate from everything that I just mentioned, everything that Harry has said, everything that everybody in the squad has said, um, all of the content creators, all of the people on the Twitter, forget about that. We're supposed to assume that it was Martin Bashir and the BBC that really started this to happen. And William, the obvious choice, you don't go to anybody smart, you go to William. William is playing right into their hands by reading the speech that was handed to him. I mean, I could still hear his voice. I could still see that smug face saying all the stuff that he said in that speech. Brilliant move, whoever was responsible for it. Anyway, let us not forget that Megan is the moment. Megan is the moment. Harry is in California because Megan is the moment. Anytime something happens, you have to remember that it's not just because they need to keep Harry in that subservient position that he was in, but it's also because he married a powerhouse. They didn't want anybody to reveal to Harry exactly how much he had going for him. It was better off that Harry believed that he would never marry, that he could not live without his brother, that anything that he ever had in life would have to be to celebrate the crown, to uplift the crown, in service of the crown, in service of his grandmother, in service of his father, and then his brother. That's three generations of sovereigns that Harry was supposed to kiss up to uplift. He was supposed to be there to make them shine. But something upset the apple cart. Somebody came along and reminded Harry of his own greatness, that he is a true king, a born leader, a breadwinner. Somebody came along and explained that to him. You don't have to take it. Really? No, you don't have to take it. You got more going for you. You can run faster, jump higher, and argue the best case, which is why we call him light skinned Harry. Because as African Americans, that's what we've always had to do: run faster, jump higher, and argue the best case. Well, within that household, the redheaded stepchild, or if what did they call it, an anagram? If you rearrange ginger, it's interesting how that spells out. And that's what they thought of him. But fortunately, somebody came along and straightened that out for him. Someone sorted that out. And now he's the most influential royal man in the world. And of course, she has become the most influential royal woman in the world. They are the moment. So, whatever anybody has to say over there, that's fine. But it doesn't make it true. They're entitled to their opinions, but they are not entitled to the truth. And there's a reason why Rachel Meghan Markle was so frightening to them, because they didn't want to be exposed. And that's exactly what Al Sharpton said. Al Sharpton said the reason they didn't like her is because she exposed their racism. She exposed the truth about them. That which they were most afraid of is exactly what happened. It exposed the truth. And even though people like Camilla, she may be winning the occasional battle, but she's not going to win the war. I just don't believe it's going to happen. Um, Nothing is that perfect. She's getting on with a lot of help from friends, but nothing is that perfect. No plan is that perfect. So if things were supposed to work out a certain way, Megan would have been on that plane and on her way to Mexico when they tried to get her to go. But something prevented that from happening. When Megan was going through the worst of it with the tabloids, she was supposed to get on the plane and leave, and Harry was going to stay behind. That didn't happen either. They tried to get Harry alone at the Sandringham Summit to convince him, you don't have to go back. We'll sort it out for you. That didn't happen. None of that stuff that they thought was going to happen was going to happen. They didn't expect a Tyler Perry or an Oprah and quite a few other people. They didn't expect any of that to happen. And especially the Netflix. They thought people were going to be ashamed and outraged and get rid of their Netflix. But instead, Netflix has only grown stronger because of the Sussexes. Spotify has only grown stronger because of the Sussexes. So none of that stuff happened. It's not over with. This is far from any concessions. There's no defeat here. So let that monster have her wedding day. I mean, some people just get married, and then some people have to, do what she's done to get in that position. But it's short lived. It is short lived. Trust me when I say it's going to be very short lived. But yeah, so don't worry about it, you guys. Now, the First Lady, the FLOTUS, First Lady of the United States of America, is in Nairobi. Early Saturday, she met with Kenyan First Lady Rachel Ruto and visited a program called Joyful Women. So, in the spirit of so many that have come before her, the First Lady is there to promote various causes, and it's also a good chance for her to get away from Washington, D.C. She had 3 something lesions or whatever removed, so it appears as though she's in good health and good spirits. So there you go. Jill Biden is in Nairobi, Kenya, and before that she was in Namibia. Let me see. Baron, don't forget Harry was supposed to be working at McDonald's. Remember? That must really hurt. Yeah, they have that famous meme of him at the McDonald's drive-thru. I remember that one. Matter of fact, I have that meme. Thank you so much, Classy LaCroix. And I saw this earlier. Loose Women All Black panel hits with onslaught of racist comments. Gee, that's a surprise. Right? Jill Biden does look like she's having a good time and don't want to come home. Hey, Big Mama is here. Loose Women had an all-black panel hit with onslaught of racist comments. Loyal viewers of the daytime program hit back at online trolls. The ITV Loose Women presenters were faced with a barrage of racist comments on social media because they were an all-black panel. Now, I did not see that one, but anyway, I don't, I'm in the U.S., so I wouldn't see it anyway. The popular daytime show features host, news presenter Charlene White, and I believe she's a regular. Singer and actress Brenda Edwards, also a regular on there, right? Well, they're on there often. Comedian Judy Love and actress, is it Kaylee Bryan? The quartet all wore blue outfits for the special episode. Let me see. Brenda Edwards' son, Jamal Edwards, who passed away in February last year. Okay, so Loose Women are pretty much is usually Brenda and the Royalists. Now, Brenda, especially this one particular episode, they were really going at it, and I forgot who the guest panelist was, but it was someone who was defending the Sussexes, and it was like one vicious attack after the other. And I don't remember what the episode was about, but poor Brenda was just sitting there and her head was going back and forth like she was at a tennis match. But it's loose women. What do you expect? These are a bunch of royalists. It's usually the four white women that are definitely devoted to the crown. Um, they also are very much devoted to bangs. I mean, you rarely see them without bangs, and for good reason. Those bangs are quite forgiving, I will say. They are quite forgiving. Um, and so I took the measure of that curious quartet of older women who happen to be royalists, and I reimagined them. All I could think of was Crepella and the rest of the family, the Gruesomes. Remember the Gruesomes from the oh, you knew I was about to get started, right? Remember the Gruesomes from the Flintstones when the Gruesomes moved next door? They were kind of like the Adams family. Well, the Gruesomes, I remember the Gruesomes all sported those bangs to conceal their unsightly appearance. And I could see the same thing was happening on Loose Women. I mean, it's almost uncanny, the resemblance, right? The Gruesomes, the Gruesomes. Yes, it was Denise Welch. Thank you so much, Elaine Parker. It was Denise Welch. And I remember she got so frustrated that she literally cupped her hands over her face because of all of the negativity that they were throwing at Megan. Thank you so much for remembering that. But yeah, so there you have it, the gruesome women. So instead of having, you know, four black women, very experienced, intelligent women, they would rather have the gruesomes, not to take away from any talent or experience that they have. I'm sure there's plenty, but I just thought it was a real shame that the four women would be the victims of racist abuse just because for that one occasion there happened to be more melanin than usual. Now, this one right here, I forgot what her name is, but oh boy, um, it is almost like something set up at the funeral parlor. It's as though they was preparing somebody for their funeral, and then it just set up and started talking. And what did they talk about? I love the queen. I love the queen. Of course, they spoke about the queen. But yeah, it seems like somebody down at the funeral parlor just set up. And of course, I could not help but notice that there was a haunting resemblance to the Grinch. Yes, the Grinch. Every time I look at her, I always think of the Grinch that stole Christmas. See what I mean? So there's that to consider. And then, of course, what is her name? Janice Street Porter. Janice Street Porter. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just, I'm going to let it speak for itself. But at first, at first, I thought it was, you know, Penny Marshall just before she passed. But I said, no, that's not Penny Marshall. That's Janice Street Porter. Janet Street Porter. Yeah, that's not Penny Marshall prior to her passing. That is Janet Street Porter. So, um, see what happens when they bash the only time they ever had black women on the loose women. It just brought out the shady in me. It just literally brought out the shady in me. I wouldn't have said anything if it was the usual people, but since they wanted to make a big fuss about it, it just kind of brought the shade out in me. And to be honest with you guys, to be honest with you,
just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals or as like Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me, is brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard.
Yeah, I would work hard
if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
They don't pay for all of the houses, but
just a few.
Now, in a perfect world, if you can have 4 African descent women on Loose Women, I see no reason why you could not have other alternatives, like, for instance, Maureen, or how about Danielle, or how about Jenny Clarkson, who for some reason looks a lot like Camilla some days, but I don't know why you couldn't have another alternative vision of Loose Women. There's other ways to interpret Loose Women, but either way, I just have to say, I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. So this is for Church Nelly. Check it out. This was a recent upload on the Instagram for Nacho Figueras. Nacho and his wife looking good. Looking good. Nacho can really interpret a designer's intention when it comes to wearing a suit or a tuxedo, for that matter. Always looking amazing. And of course, as you know, they are very good friends of the Sussexes, which of course makes them friends of mine. But yeah, love that look for them. Yep, love that look for them. Just perfect for Madison Avenue. And of course, as I had to reimagine the television show, I thought how appropriate if we consider the other friends, the alternative friends. So there you have it. And with that, you guys, remember, if you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down. That's what Toni Morrison said. If you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down. So hopefully, at some point when things are the way that they should be, or the way that the Sussexes are hoping that they can be, that they can finally rid themselves. But it's a two-way street. It's not only up to the Sussexes to step away from the institution, but the institution also has to stop briefing against them and stop targeting them. If it wasn't for the institution I mean, it took 2 years. It took 2 years for Spare to come out. And for 2 years, from the day they left, for 2 years, they didn't do anything but take it. The only time that they struck back was with the Oprah interview. And that was quickly shouted down by the tabloid media, creating an air of confusion for people who really just wanted to know what the truth was. Oh, here's the 17 things that they lied about. Here's another example of the misrepresentation. Oprah is really going to get herself in trouble with the British people. Oprah is distancing herself from the Sussexes. All that happened after that interview. And it was like nobody had heard anything. And when that machine kicks in and they start shouting you down, it is hard to be heard. And so Harry had no choice but to put it in a book. He had no choice but to share exactly what happened. And people believe him. People, a whole like new audience of people who may have doubted the Sussexes because of the book and because of the docuseries have been won over. They know better. So today they laugh at you, but believe me, at some point you will be respected. But when that time comes, then it's time to shed that weight and to get on with things. But that's the Sussex's choice, and I'm going to support them until, such time. I'm going to be there to support them whenever they decide that, this is this. But I don't feel like they should walk away if somebody is still throwing stones at them. You got to face your enemy, and then at some point they can fly. But until then, you got to fight the good fight. You have to fight your corner until you don't have to anymore. But they're not letting up on them. If the Sussexes never said anything publicly for the next 20 years, they would still be under constant attack. So, be vigilant, be watchful. You can see Harry, always the soldier, always the soldier. All right, you guys, thank you so much. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, wait, let me put something on the screen. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And thank you all so much for the generous donations. And yes, I have been told that you guys were speaking about Sherry Ware. But yeah, I hope Sherry's okay. We haven't heard from her, but I hope she's okay. I haven't seen her in my inbox on Twitter at all either. So I hope everything's okay. So Sherry Ware, if you can hear us, we are going to be praying for you. Let me see here. And I think today is one of those occasions where we have all earned a special treat, if I may. Let me see. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. Let me see if I can find that special treat, because we deserve it. We deserve it. And it's going to be a challenging 10 weeks coming up until the coronation. And so, but we'll get through it. We always do, right? We always do. Is this it? Oh, yes, that's it right there. So, as mentioned, a little treat for the, is that it? No. Yes? No. Is it? No. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, man. All right, let me find the spot. Let me find the spot. Okay, this is it. Way reflecting anything from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This is my own feelings being expressed the only way I know how. Oh, I'm sorry. I turned the sound off. Anastasia says, speaking of which, can someone find the real royal family, the Stuart dynasty, please, before May the 6th? I hope so. I hope so. I'm not sure that it would make a difference, though, but oh, man, because Richard III, the ones that put the boys in the tower, they weren't supposed, I mean, sorry, he wasn't supposed to be there, but they still consider him a king, and he wasn't supposed to be there. And it's the same mentality that. Did you ever see like the documentary where they found the bones of Richard III? And this one, there was like a Richard III society of people who wanted to exonerate Richard III because of the princes in the tower that disappeared mysteriously, one of which was supposed to be crowned king, and their whereabouts were unknown at that time. And nobody cared, nobody came forward, there was nothing said of it. And 100 years later or whatever, they found bones that looked like two small children with some very expensive fabric buried with them. Obviously, it was the two princes. They've never done any DNA, but that same mentality exists today where you could have someone exalted as a sovereign, no matter how much dirt they've done in their lives. The whispering campaign, the gaslighting and propaganda, that person can still sit on the crown. I'm sorry, on the crown, but sit on the throne as the head of a church, no less, the head of the church. Modern times, at least it's supposed to be, but no, modern times, very, very weird. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I will be looking for the last word of the day. I think that's it. Rodney Jackson says, until we meet again, right? Good night and God bless. I love that. Thank you, Rodney. That's beautiful. Thank you. All right, you guys, thank you very much. And thank you to our queens who have fortified and strengthened the characters of those two young people that not only will change the world, but already they have changed the world. They have changed the world for a lot of people, and there's more to come. I can guarantee you that. So with that, thank you all very much. Oh, thank you, Lambert Charles. Great program. God bless all squatties and the wonderful Sussexes. Let's keep praying for each other. Yes, yes. And Sherry Ware, wherever you are, we are praying for you. I know, most Shannon, it shouldn't be that way, but here we are. Okay. And I am going to, let's end with Madam Duchess today. I say Madam, this seems like a good Madam Duchess day.
Prince Harry is a young man who has grown up not just with good looks and also royal privileges. It would have been easy for him to choose a life of ease and leisure. Instead, he chose a more difficult path. And by so doing, he has become an example to millions of others. It is a path that fully embraces the noblest traditions of service to his country and to his fellow human beings. On the one hand, Prince Harry has bravely followed the tradition of generations of British royals before him by serving his country in the military. He has been an Army officer in the British Army since 2006 and deployed with the Household Cavalry Regiment Battle Group to Helmand Province in 2008. During his time there, he served in the front lines, directing British and American aircraft onto enemy targets. He has shown that he knows what it means to lead by example, even when it means possibly paying the ultimate price.